Solitude, a word that brings either peace or fear. Some people crave it, others dread it. But is solitude a necessity for true wisdom? Today, we explore the profound philosophy of Arthur Schopenhauer, a man who saw solitude not as a punishment, but as a path to enlightenment. In his eyes, solitude was the mark of a superior intellect, a refuge from the suffering of the world. But why did he believe this? And is there truth in his words? Arthur Schopenhauer was not an optimist. He saw life as a cycle of endless suffering, driven by what he called the will, a blind, irrational force that compels all living beings to desire, to crave, and ultimately to suffer. The more we desire, the more we are enslaved by our own existence. According to Schopenhauer, the only escape from this suffering is to detach from the will, and what better way to detach than to embrace solitude? Schopenhauer believed that the more intelligent a person is, the more they will seek solitude. Why? Because highly intelligent individuals do not need constant social stimulation. They are self-sufficient, finding joy in deep thoughts rather than in trivial conversations. He once wrote, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is really free." To Schopenhauer, solitude was not loneliness, it was freedom. Freedom from distractions, freedom from meaningless social obligations, freedom to think, to reflect, to create. But why did Schopenhauer warn against society? He believed that most people engage in shallow pleasures, small talk, gossip, mindless entertainment. Society, he argued, is a place where people compete for status, wealth, and approval, all of which are illusions of happiness. He once wrote, "Almost all our sorrows spring out of relations with other people," according to him. By engaging too much with society, we expose ourselves to jealousy, betrayal, and unnecessary suffering. He saw solitude as a way to avoid this pain and focus on what truly matters. For Schopenhauer, solitude was not just about avoiding suffering, it was about self-discovery. When you are alone, you are no longer acting for an audience. You are no longer pretending. You are simply yourself. He believed that solitude allows us to develop independent thought, to break free from herd mentality, and to cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness. Without solitude, he argued, we remain trapped in the expectations of others, never truly knowing who we are. But solitude does not have to be empty. Schopenhauer believed that art, music, and philosophy can transform solitude into something meaningful. He was deeply inspired by Beethoven's music, which he saw as a form of pure expression beyond the suffering of life. He also admired Buddhist teachings, particularly the idea of detachment. Like Buddhism, he saw life as suffering and solitude as a path to enlightenment. By withdrawing from material desires, we can find peace, just as Buddhist monks do in their silent meditation. So, is solitude a curse or a gift? Arthur Schopenhauer believed it was a gift, a gateway to wisdom, self-discovery, and true freedom in a world filled with distractions. Perhaps his philosophy is more relevant now than ever. But what do you think? Is solitude a path to enlightenment? Or is it merely loneliness in disguise? The choice is yours.